Hey everyone, today we're learning about if statements in Python. Make sure to open or create a Python file in Visual Studio Code, then we will get started. So, before we jump into if statements, we will learn about Booleans, since it's a related topic to our episode. So to be simple, a Boolean is a data type with two possible values, either true or false. So for example, if x equals to true, that is a Boolean. Hold on a second. That is a Boolean. Or y equals to false. This is also a Boolean. Those are the two possible values and we're gonna use them later in this episode. You can also use these later in your Python journey. Anyways, let's get started with the main topic of this episode. How do you declare an if statement in Python? So this is the syntax. Actually, let's declare variable x equals to 0 for example. If x is greater than 1, column, then for example, let's print actually x is greater than 1. If you had ever learned another programming language before, I think this is easy for you. So, what if x is less than 1? We're gonna use elif in this case, which stands for else if. Elif x is less than 1. Print x is less than 1. Okay, but what if x is equal to 1? So for example, elif, by the way, you can add as much elif statements as you want in this code. Like in Python generally, you can add as much elif statements as you want. So x equal, yes, this is double equal, which means equals to. This is how most programming languages do it, so don't worry about it. Equal to 1. So print x is, actually I forgot the quotations, x is equal to 1. What if it's another value? We use else. Print x is not a real number. So we're gonna save it and run it. Python file. X is less than 1, which is our second condition, since x equals 0 satisfies our second condition. Let's say if x is, for example, 54. Running it again, x is greater than, since it satisfies the first condition. And what if x is equal to 1? Let's run it again. X is equal to. Alright, let's, for example, change the value of x to false. False is a boolean, not a number, so it should tell us it's not a real number. Oh, wait. Yeah, the value of false is actually equals to 0. I'm sorry. Yeah, we can't use else in this situation, so for example, we're gonna remove the two other elif statements. And right here, change it to x is less than or equal to 1. Saving it and running it again. Now it should do the else. Exactly. Now I think you got the hang of it. So let's go on to the next part. Here's another example using booleans. So for example, we will declare x to be false. So x equals to false. And then write an if statement. So for example, if x equal, actually it's supposed to be equal true, print pass, else print fail. Running it again. Yep, it is fail since it does not equal to true. What if we change the value to true? And then running it again. This time it should pass the test. Exactly. Now this was a simple example of using booleans with if statements. So next up, there are many operators you can use with conditional statements. So for example, x equals to 0, for example, if x equal to 0. Now the equal sign sign is basically means equals to. This sign on your keyboard, which means greater than. This sign means less than. Now how do we use greater than or equal to? So you type the greater than symbol, then type equal. That's it. And same thing for less than or equal to, of course. Now what if we have two variables, x equals to 17 y equal to 90. Let's say that we only wanted to print a certain sentence when x is equal to 17 and y is equal to 19. So for example, we're gonna use if x is equal to 17 and y is equal to 19, print some random sentence. By the way, you don't have to like use print and stuff. You can like input any piece of code you need to be executed if both of these conditions are satisfied, which is an interesting thing. So for example, saving it and running it, it outputted some random sentence in the console / terminal / whatever you want to call it. You can what if we only want one of these values to be satisfied? For example, let's make it 193 instead. We're gonna change the and to or. Since x satisfies it but y still doesn't satisfy it, it's gonna print the random sentence. See? That's it for episode. Next episode we're gonna build a calculator. Now you can mess around with if statements and math operators and stuff, and you can figure out how to build a calculator. But next episode I'm gonna show you how to build a simple Python calculator. Nothing fancy, but something that will work. See you next episode, and goodbye.